Hello, welcome back to the Space Age, and a little hello here from my hanging plant. In today's video, we're going to be doing a message from the bat animal spirit. So the bat animal spirit made itself known to me last year, and is it a powerful energy. And I was inspired to do this reading because I just finished watching Batman, not the one that's in theaters right now, the one that's with Christian Bale. I just watched the first one and I'll watch the second one soon. But the bat is such a significant animal spirit in my own life, and I just feel like the energy of the bat is definitely prominent right now because of how much energy is being given to this symbol, right? And this symbol is not necessarily the most gentle of symbols, but honestly so beautiful. I mean, when I encountered Bat, I experienced it smiling at me and being such a gentle, cute, and cuddly spirit while being a messenger of such heavy transformational energy. So this is definitely an energy that elevates you, transforms you, and brings you new life, I would say. Very much Plutonian energy. So let's impart these messages to you. Maybe there's a message here. If you were drawn to this reading, there might be a message here from the bat animal spirit that wants to speak to you. Some people like to say spirit animal, but many years ago when I came across animal totems and stuff, people didn't say spirit animals. I think spirit animals became like a popular term people used when they used to make that joke that people were their spirit animals, like so and so is my spirit animal. That's what I think. Maybe it's Mandela effect, I have no idea, but I remember it being animal spirit, and I'm just gonna stick with that. Okay, so we have our first card. Is this me? Wow. I had to take a moment to just take that in. Is this me? That's an interesting card to be coming out. Is this you? Is that a question you're asking yourself? This sounds like a call for transformation. This is a who am I statement. It's saying, is this who I am? Maybe take a moment and assess your life. Maybe you've already been doing that. Maybe just think about it. Maybe just pause the video for a second, right? Close your eyes and just take in yourself right now. Who are you right now? Maybe this is you. Maybe this is what you like. We even have 4 here, right? 4 is Rahu, right? The invisible planet. Another heavy energy, right? And this doesn't mean heavy as in ooh, run away. No. Life is always good, right? But here's what's going on. I feel like this energy here is asking you to think about who you are right now and address it, because you can literally wake up at any moment. And wake up doesn't mean waking up in the morning. It means waking up your consciousness, because awakening isn't just a one-time process. Because believe me, when you think you've gone through the dark night of the soul, trust me, sometimes that wasn't even it, or it was it, but maybe there's more than one. And there's such a beautiful appreciation you can have for this journey of self-recognition. So this is about recognizing yourself, but also recognizing there is no self. There's something that's on the tip of my brain as to what this could be. Understanding that there is no real self that is you, but also being able to just have your own identity, right? Even though there is no central self, it's you have this avatar character and you get to design it. You get to add things to it. You get to add personality quirks, designs, things that you like, and you get to change those things. There's nothing fixed about you. Underneath that, we had colorless angel. perhaps life hasn't been feeling so bright, right? Perhaps it's been feeling kind of monotone. Maybe there's something about life right now that's not feeling, you know what? I feel it, girl, guy, person. I feel it because honestly, like, I mean, I don't feel it now, but I understand this feeling where it's like you're bored to tears. I started telling people recently, like that phrase, you know, that phrase, bored to tears, that can literally happen. You can literally cry from boredom. That literally can happen. Like, you literally could just cry because life doesn't feel bright enough, right? And so maybe this is about self-assessment. Am I okay with how things are? Does life feel mundane? Do I like the scene that I'm a part of? Am I a part of no scene? Have I settled for the idea that I'm supposed to be this, right? I feel like there's something about this that's saying like, okay, we can revamp. We can revamp if we want to. And if you're feeling like you're just starting to be seeing yourself, maybe you're already in this energy of like seeing yourself for the first time, I'm sensing that some change is taking place because that energy is all about change, right? And it wants to see change. It wants to see you going sort of through the depths of like, you know, when you think of like the Plutonian energy, right? What sign does Pluto rule? Scorpio, right? Scorpio is about death, transformation, like the gutters, right? And through this dark, you know, place that we call, you know, this figurative death, right? Perhaps even like, you know, obviously it can be literal, but it's usually figurative. That's what we're talking about here today, right? When we're going through these cycles, right? It's like what comes out on the other side, and you get to initiate these cycles, right? So our next card, we have Bride in a Cage. Okay. Ooh. It's an interestingly, yeah, it's a pretty dark card. Not dark as in the message. It's just that I'm like what's it called? A scaredy cat. So if I see something that like is like a little eerie, I'm like, because I'm a little baby. But I feel like this is kind of you feeling like, maybe you're feeling like you're stuck in a commitment of some kind. It could be like, it could be a relationship. It could be something else. It could be something else. It could be like you feel trapped in a job. This feels like something that like you might have committed to a certain image, right? Or a certain thing. We have Colorless Angel here and Bride in a Cage. I get like a certain vibe of like, this doesn't need to be devastating or anything, but maybe there's like a sense of like feeling maybe caged into the identity that people maybe expect of you, maybe something that you've expected of yourself up until now. This is giving me like a sense of identity, right? Like feeling trapped in a certain identity with like a certain maybe idea of who you are, or maybe there's something that you just feel like, I feel like a lot of the time it's that we feel a little bit trapped by what people expect of us. I was talking about this with someone the other day, like the idea that like you might start a job, right? And or if you just think about like workplaces in general, there's someone that's like usually like slacking off, and someone that's really working hard a lot, and then the person that works really hard tends to be relied upon a lot. But like the person that slacks off, it's like almost like they're not even seen anymore by the manager. The manager's just like, that's just how they are. But if the person that's normally working hard slacks off a bit, they just can't get away with it because they've set like a certain standard. So sometimes we can feel like limited by others' perceptions of us. And sometimes it can be our own perception, because we might think, oh, I'm supposed to be this, and we don't know where that's coming from. We have the World. That's some powerful energy. I feel like this is like the other side of what comes out of that redefinition, because this World card can be anything. your end of the road, your end goal, the thing that you want, the thing you so desire, it could literally be anything that you want. It could be you taking over some kind of like, I heard organization. You guys could be taking over some kind of system in place, is what I'm getting. And that sounds like really like specific, but I feel like it's some kind of system that can be multi-layered, multifaceted, different hemispheres of like thinking. So I feel like for you guys, you might be very influential people. And if you don't feel like you're an influential person, I hear get outside your bubble. Get outside your bubble. I feel like this isn't heavy energy actually at all, really, that's coming out. It's more like you guys just need to revamp your lives. This is about like revamping your life and just making it more colorful again. Bringing back the spice. If you feel caged in, maybe it takes time to get out of that cage, right? But it's really just like this box you just need to step right out of. I get like Eight of Swords energy, where it's like you can let yourself go at any time. So, I mean, this person that's questioning her identity, she seems very powerful, right? She seems like a powerful fae, like dark fae goddess. I'm getting like Morrigan energy, honestly. So I feel like, and that's also like death goddess energy, right? So I feel like you guys get to redefine yourself in this moment. So if you guys are feeling like a little bit down, or just feeling like you're in a rut, whatever part of the spectrum you might be on, try revamping it a little bit. And you can do that. Think about just changing it up. I heard someone say that if they were 30 again, and you might be someone who's like in their 50s or 70s even, right? Or you might be someone who's very young, but they were saying, but you know what? You can do anything. If you're on this earth right now, you can do anything. Like, honestly, you can do anything. There's nothing that's actually stopping you from starting anything. If you want to be an astronomer, if you want to be an actor, if you want to do anything you want to do, you do it. You're still on this earth, you do it. That's the calling card right now. If you're hearing this reading, if there's something that you've always wanted to do, and let's say maybe this bride in a cage thing is like you started a career, for example, and you worked so long for it, right? Let's say you wanted to become a physical therapist. You paid so much for school, and now you're just like, you feel like you're stuck in like this. Oh, that's what's coming up for you guys. I will explain that in a second. You guys feel like you're stuck in like this career path that you set out for yourself, something you might have invested a lot of time, money, people expect things from you. And this is just an example, but there might be something you feel like really committed to, right? But it's never too late to turn around. And remember, your higher self, maybe you've never heard this before, your higher self doesn't want anything devastating for you. All you have to do is say that you want to reroute, right? And then you follow those inspirational breadcrumbs. You get an inspiration to do a small thing. Like it could be something that feels completely unrelated, like doing your laundry. And then somehow in doing your laundry, you start thinking about things that you really like, you never would have thought of if you hadn't started doing laundry at that very moment, right? Because there's a lot of stuff going out, lots of influences circulating about, right? Your brain might be going through its own chemical cycles, right? And that can happen. And so it's like about following those little breadcrumbs. And as you do that, this transition is like ease. So something that might feel like a harsh transition, or just even if there's no transition at all, shifting into a new paradigm of existence, make the call, assert what you want. It doesn't have to be with physical, like very clear words or you physically speaking it. You can sort of just visualize, or not even visualize, a feeling is enough, or just like a quasi knowing is even enough, right? So next we have the Ace of Cups for you guys. What a beautiful symbology. this is like a gift of like what you guys need. This is a dose of what you need. Like the bat is saying, like, here is a dose of what you need. Emotional fulfillment, right? And I feel like this is like, this message is like saying, it's saying something like, now you're getting this gift of like emotional fulfillment as you simply acknowledge that there's something else that you might want, or that maybe you just really like where you are right now. Whether it's like you've just made this transition, this might be the confirmation that yes, indeed, like if it's like been the past couple weeks and you've been trying on, you know, these new vibes that you've been wanting, right? Maybe that's what's, you know, that's what's being represented here. But for those of you that are just like feeling this urge, you're like, what is going on? What is this urge inside of me? This is like this chalice being offered, like, yes, drink from the chalice if you so desire. And it's just about emotional fulfillment. Think the thoughts that emotionally fulfill you and allow them to propel you into inspired action. Don't worry about, you know, I feel like I said, I don't feel like your higher self leads you to devastation. Like, yes, sometimes there are tower moments that have to happen, or you think they have to happen, but it's more like life experience hasn't gotten there yet. And so you have these tower moments, and they're there to teach you about how a foundation must, you know, be broken down. But sometimes you can take an initiation and be like, hey, I want this change to happen, and maybe it doesn't have to be so destructive. I feel like this is a peaceful offering. This is a peaceful offering. Do you see this? This is pure peace. We even have this dove, you know? So if you want change, even if it's like, you know, you feel like a bride in a cage, maybe that's quite literal. Like maybe you're like feeling like the runaway bride. Just say you want a solution, right? Like this week I needed to, like, I had like a schedule thing, but like I needed to reschedule, and I was like, I really want to reschedule this thing. And I was just like, higher self, like, can we like figure this out? Can we like do something? I asked, and then put on the back burner, and then everything gets just do it. Just trust it. Just trust the process. You don't have to say higher self, do whatever feels good to you, but there's also like this energy out there that you can put your trust in and like kind of like fall into, right? And that's what that is. It's just like, this is a peaceful transition, actually, that the bat spirit kind of wants to talk about. It wants you to experience, like, ooh, we have the moon reverse. Yeah. So this is about overcoming like the unconscious fears. I feel like a lot of you guys might fear transition and change. Who, like, honestly, who doesn't? Most of the time, I think most people tend to, unless you have like, you know, this really gutsy personality. But I feel like there might be some like this unconscious, it's not even really unconscious sometimes, but this is like a major arcana card. And we have like some major cards here. We have this major arcana card here. And this is a minor arcana card, but I feel like it's got some big energy for a minor arcana card. And we have this moon card in reverse. I feel like this does have like some dark night of the soul energy, but I feel like this is kind of like your higher self protecting you. Do you know what it's like, actually? It's like when you have like a nightmare. I don't know if you guys know about this, but like sometimes when you have nightmares or like bad dreams, those things are like actually really, really good for you. I didn't know that. I used to have lots of night terrors, right? And just like lots of them, like terrors, like not nightmares, like night terrors. And I didn't realize like how healing those things really were. And also it's like, if you have fears, like unconscious fears, those things can sometimes just play out in your dreams instead of playing out in reality. And it's like protecting you, but also it's a way of you seeing what's going on. And so, you know, the bat, you know, a lot of animal totems come through dreams, right? And that's how I actually like encountered the bat, right? So this is a calling card to pay attention to your dreams. That's such a common saying. So when I say something that people say a lot, I really want to put some oomph behind it, that it's important to actually pay attention to your dreams. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit why, so that you know why sometimes you'll hear people say this. Your dreams are actually telling you a lot about what's going on inside, and that's obvious. But you might not think that if you're not really paying attention to them, because you might think, cheese, right? So let me give you an example. I had a dream once where there were 2 plates of nacho cheese. I don't eat nacho cheese. I don't know why it was there, right? So it's random. I could have woken up and been like, it's nothing, right? But then I was thinking, I chose a particular nacho cheese. One of them had one consistency and another one had a different consistency. And as I peeled back the layers and I kept asking questions, I'm like, why did I choose that one? That one didn't taste as good, now that I think about it. And I didn't know that it didn't taste as good until I really reflected and took some time to remember how I felt in the dream. And so it really does take time, because you kind of forget little things like how you felt, how things tasted, little textures. But when you actually sit down, deciphering a dream can often take, like if you're really going deep, it can take hours, or it can even take your whole day. It's not just like, I woke up and like, the most obvious message coming through. No. Sometimes it can take like actual like hours to like really decipher, but it's like solving a really fun puzzle when you actually start getting into it. And that sounds like maybe a little daunting, but just like the surface level thing that you might see when you wake up in a dream isn't usually all that's there. There are actually so many. You might get one thing from a dream, but when you actually start deciphering, you get like dozens of things from a dream that you thought was so simple, from a simple scene that you might have seen. So that's why you should pay attention to your dreams. Write them down. I personally don't write my dreams down physically with my hands, because my writing, I have really long dreams. I have like multiple dreams every night. So I can't write them all down, and it's just, there are too many details. It's too painful. So something I recommend is if you have like a phone that has like a note app, you can like record your voice into the note app, or you can even record it into a voice memo. That makes it easier. But like make a habit of doing that when you wake up in the morning. And even if you don't like always do it, just try to get it down and get into the habit of just writing it down. And that's how you're going to get yourself to remember a lot more if you don't remember. And if you don't remember your dreams like even at all, it's like a huge info drop, but someone here needs it. If you don't remember your dreams at all, like zero, like not even a splinter, right? Try to think about how you felt waking up. Maybe you had a certain feeling from the dream. If you don't even have that, maybe just make something up. The point is that you're trying with your brain to reach for those things. And the second you start doing that, it just activates in you, because your brain's like, oh, this is important information to get down, right? So we have second house, owning, right? Okay. Alrighty. Owning. Okay. And then we have Pisces, I believe. Okay. I'm going to sit with that energy for a second. So, all right. Physical domain, and there's a spiritual domain. Okay, so this is what I think the bat spirit is trying to get you to pay attention to. This is about your independence here. I sense that for a lot of you guys are seeking some level of independence. Perhaps there's a level of codependency. We had that bride card, which kind of symbolically represents the caged bride. What was that? Was that what it was called? The caged bride? Yeah. Bride in a cage. I feel like that has to do with possibly a codependency to something, someone, or something. And the bat energy is just trying to tell you to focus on ways that you can create a foundation for yourself. And this isn't about putting the pressure on. It's just about drawing your attention to the fact that you can do this. And it doesn't have to be like scrambling for whatever comes your way, But this is about following your intuition and believing that it can be possible and it can be done. Following the breadcrumbs, like, right, going down this spiral and just letting it take you down this path, right? Following the yellow brick road, just going down the path of least resistance for yourself. Make the call, say what you want, put your heart's desire out there, and allow it to happen for you. Allowing simply means that you stop fighting in your everyday life. Just stop battling. If something happens, don't react to it. Just don't battle. Just know everything's going to be okay. And that's not easy, but that's why it's called like spiritual work, right? It's, it's not. And if someone has faith, for example, in like a deity or God or something, it's not like something that's simple. Sometimes it takes work. These aren't things that just are simple. So you might be like, oh, why can't other people do it so easily? It's like, no, it's like, this is usually work for people, right? Until you get it down, right? You don't master calculus by not doing your homework, right? If you sign up for a class and you don't do your homework, if you're just passive about it, you listen to the lectures, you go home and you don't ever like do the homework, it's not going to work, right? So and it doesn't mean that like sometimes you might fall off or whatever, but it's about being consistent, remaining consistent, right? Consistent in your belief system too. So if you're going to say that affirmation, keep saying it, If you're going to write something down, keep doing it. At least commit to it for a little while, right? Just, commit to something, but commit to something that feels good, right? If you don't like the way affirmations make your brain feel, if you feel like you're stressed out when you say an affirmation, maybe you don't have to do anything at all. Sometimes your process is not doing anything at all. You don't have to do anything at all. Like maybe you don't have to say an affirmation. Maybe the universe already knows. Maybe you can just trust in that. Maybe your higher self got the message and it's actually working things out for you. Maybe you're just supposed to enjoy day-to-day life, right? So just stay in that moment. We have purity. I feel like this is all about cleansing the world of your dreams, right? Seeing more into your dreams. For some of you guys, maybe like trying certain habits that might enhance your dreams, your dreamscape. So purity, maybe like there's something like maybe not eating so close to bedtime. I don't know if I've heard that changes things for people. In my experience, I'm not sure. I think so. I think it helps. I do think it helps. But at the same time, according to my human design chart, I'm a night eater. So perhaps I'm designed to eat at nighttime and it's totally fine for me. But I don't really know. But try experimenting with that. But in general, in your day-to-day life, beyond just dreams, what can you purify from your life? What are things that you're just like, it's no longer serving me. I've heard that message before, and what no longer serves, right? Just thinking in those ways, like, oh, what serves me at this time? And I don't even like that terminology because I feel like when you say something so many times, it just like blends together. So in other ways, think about what things in your life you're just like not feeling. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I have to stop playing video games because they're quote unquote bad, but like video games, in my opinion, aren't bad, right? So like it's all about how you see things and it's about how things affect you, right? So like with music, for example, not all music affects people the same way, right? So some people can listen to like music that says like all kinds of crazy stuff and they're just fine, and someone else might just feel depressed afterward. And we all know that like music has like different frequencies and stuff. But I also do believe I think most people aren't impervious to the effects of music, but like some people, it's like, something that might be low vibrational to you might be high vibrational to somebody else, right? And sometimes I listen to a song and I'm just like, I like this song, right? Even though it's like not perfect. But if I listen to a song and the words are like too like negative, I think just psychologically, even me, like sometimes it's just like, it feels like I can't even override it because like it's just too much. And most of my music doesn't do that anyway. So anyway, we have blossoming. Yeah, I feel like this is your next phase. This is the next phase of transformation. And I'm just going to declare that you're already here. you know? And recently we've had like a full moon, if you're watching this at the time. And I also noticed that the crater to me looks like a bunny, and Easter's coming up. And I feel like that's like very much spring energy. The spring equinox just came. And I feel like this might just be the energy of the season, where it's like we're in rebirth cycles, like this transformation. So it is looking like at this time, you guys are going to be redefining who you are if you have not done so already. And I feel like the way that the bat spirit wants you to redefine your energy is by refocusing your energy on pleasures, right? And what's emotionally fulfilling to you, and allowing that to happen. And maybe this is the time you're really going to start to like understand it, right? And free yourself of like any burdensome energy that might be in your life. Getting out of that cage, being a free bird, right? This is like freeing yourself to do the things that you want to do. But if you feel caged, knowing that it's okay, and Bat knows that you might feel caged if you do feel caged. And when you feel caged, it doesn't feel like there's a way out. It feels like someone's going to get hurt. You know, everyone's going to get hurt involved. Who's involved, you know, things might just crash and burn. But I feel like this energy is saying that what you think might happen, you don't have to worry about that happening, because if you just follow that joy, that feeling of being present and following those breadcrumbs of inspiration, and just taking some trust in, you know, knowing that spirit is actually leading you to the situation that you truly desire, right? To your independence, right? Through your trust and belief in yourself, really trusting in yourself, right? All of these things you might be fearing that might happen, these aren't things that are going to take place. That's what this moon in reverse was saying here. These fears that you might think take place, they exist in your mind. You don't actually know what's going to happen. I know that manifestation says that like what we see in our minds is what happens. Like that's what some teachings say, like, oh, if you see something in your mind's eye, it happens. But I'll tell you this, nothing has actually happened before, I don't think, really, that's actually happened in my mind's eye exactly to the T, right? Like even if I've manifested something that I've visualized before and it happened, of course, like the person, like sometimes people do say the exact words you've visualized them saying when that moment finally comes. But a lot of our anxieties, right, those intrusive thoughts, those don't usually carry out, right? And sometimes they do, but there's a reason behind it. It's not the world punishing you. Your higher self, like the energies that are working the universe, they're aware that you're having intrusive thoughts, right? And sometimes when things play out, I've had fears of my own play out. So trust me, I know, like I've had like actually like my biggest fear play out, or one of my biggest fears play out. And it might have been really terrible at the time, but when it did play out, I no longer like have this fear anymore because it's already happened, right? And I feel like the aftermath of that, the lessons learned, were so much more important for my soul's journey. But this message here is saying that you shouldn't be worried about your fears playing out. But I'm just letting you know that if like the situations where they do play out, it results in you elevating spiritually, is what I'm trying to say. But this card is actually saying like you're being protected from that, from those fears playing out, okay? And so when you do this transformation, it's just about taking it moment by moment and stating what you want, putting what you want out there, what you feel like will emotionally fulfill you out there, and just taking it one moment at a time and knowing that everything's being orchestrated. The universe is conspiring for you, right? So let me just pull one last card for you guys, because I don't want you guys to just think I'm leaving you abruptly, but I'll pull one last card. Okay, we have attraction. I felt this card, so I just pulled it. We have supermoon attraction, number 44. This is powerful. This is an excellent closer for you guys. I feel like the energy is just so fertile right now. And like, I do feel like Easter is around the corner. I've never known when Easter is. I don't recall celebrating it growing up. So, but I know it's coming because at the store they have all those Easter egg stuff. So, but I know that it's the spring equinox. Spring just started. The flowers are blooming everywhere. This is the time where it's just about receiving. The question before that was asked at the beginning was, is this me? Well, I have a question for you. Is the you that you've, I don't know, previously occupied, or maybe you've changed recently and this is just reflecting how you've already done this process, and it's just like, yay you, high five. But if you feel like you have to work so hard to do everything, right? If that's you, the question I have is like, is that you? Do you have to work so hard? Maybe the new you doesn't have to do that, right? Maybe the new you is like just an attractor, right? And that's what like divine feminine energy is. And remember, we are in a divine feminine energy year, and that's nothing to do with your physical gender. That's just to do with like the energies that we all embody, right? That make up the universe, the feminine, divine feminine energy. It's 222, right? 2022. 2 is the energy of the moon, right? Feminine energy of attraction, right? What does the moon do to the tides, right? It pulls things in, pushes things out, right? It's about like that attractive magnetic energy. And that's what, the year is. It's 2222, like 222. And it breaks down into a 6, which is, Venus and other feminine energy. So it's a very feminine energy year. So if you are attempting to force things, it's no bueno right now. This is about attraction. And trust me, if you're watching this reading and you're here at the end, high five to you. And now you know that you don't have to do that. You can relax and allow things to come to you. Just state your intention. You don't have to do it impulsively and make yourself sick by like writing things down and affirming as if it's like your job. Like, just state what you want and just attract. Because all these rules that people say, you don't actually have to follow these rules unless they make you feel better. But just consider that it might be easier, right? Maybe the real you, like we started off with, is this me? This is our closer, attraction. She's just, do you see her? It started off with, is this me? That was the question Bat wanted to ask you. And at the end, we have this closer where this person is just sitting here and waiting for this thing to come. But knowing it's there because they can see it, right? This is something that's physically evident. It takes up the entire space. This is something physically evident. And then supermoon tells me this is like a powerful, even more magnetic than usual. It's pure attraction. So that is what I will leave you guys with. That is message from Bat. Thank you so much, Bat Energy. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I enjoyed giving it to you. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.